In this video, we'll create a real image classifier using transfer learning with PyTorch. We will take a powerful pre-trained model, adapt it to your dataset, and train it so that it can classify images accurately without starting from scratch. I will explain every line of code that's important to us so that you know not only what you're writing, but also why you're writing it as well. Without further ado, let's get started. Transfer learning is still one of the smartest ways to get good results quickly in computer vision. So instead of training a big neural network from random weights, we take a model that was already trained on a huge dataset like ImageNet, and we use what it has already learned. Today we will load a pre-trained ResNet 50, freeze most of its layer, replace the final classification layer, and train it on Cypher 10, and we will evaluate the results. And while doing all of these, we will be using a Google Colab so that you have access to it as well, along with a free GPU, which is a T4 NVIDIA GPU. I'll put the Google Colab link in the description as well so that you can follow the tutorial yourself as well. First things first, we'll start with the imports. Torch is the core PyTorch library. Torch.nn loads the neural network layers from PyTorch. Torch.optim contains the optimizers like Adam Optimizer. Data loader allows us to load the data in batches to our neural network, and the dataset transforms and model come from the Torch region as well. And finally, we'll use matplotlib to visualize our data. And before running this, one thing that will save you a massive amount of time is to go to runtime. Click on change runtime type, and if this is set to CPU, which typically it is, when you first open the notebook, make sure to change it to a T4 GPU. I already changed it, so I don't need to do that. One of the things I would recommend with this notebook is that as soon as you get it, you can go to runtime and you can click on run all, because with this notebook it will take like 20 minutes to run the whole thing, which I just did. And you can either run each one of them individually, or again go to runtime and you can say run all. For example, the first code cell took 13 seconds, but the second one took 4 minutes. And then we'll see the other ones, but the main training part took essentially like 16 minutes. So once we're done with the imports, we'll check the device to make sure that we have a GPU. We check for the device type. We say torch.device is CUDA if it is available, else we will default to CPU. In this case, we did change our runtime to GPU. So we do have CUDA available, so we'll be able to use GPU for this training. Next one is to define our transformation. When we do get the images, essentially we resize them to 224 pixels, 224 to 224. We fit them to a square, and we transform them to tensors. So we transform them from pixels to tensors to feed to our neural network. And then we also normalize our data. So we also normalize our images, which is quite important as well. Next up, we load our datasets. For training, we'll have 50,000 images, and for testing, we'll have 10,000 images. We'll be using the Cypher 10 dataset, which includes airplane, automobile, bird, cat, deer, dog, frog, horse, ship, and truck, as you can see from the names here as well. So on the first line, you can see the training dataset. So we set the training to true, and we say download is true. And when we do say download equals true, we are downloading the data if we haven't already. And the transform equals transform is where we set this transformation to the transformation we are applying. So when we set this one, we're essentially applying this transformation to our dataset for both training and testing, which is quite important. And the only difference between these two while defining is that training is true on the training data and it is false on the testing data. And then we set our training loaders, where we load our dataset for both training and test data. Batch size 32 means that we are loading our images not one by one, but 32 at a time. And we're shuffling for the training data, which is always a good practice. And one thing important here is that for the test loader, we don't need to shuffle our data, so we set it to false. And we define the class names, which are specific to our Cypher 10 dataset. And once we're done, we print some data regarding our training and test images. And as we mentioned, we have 50,000 of training images and 10,000 of test images. Next up, we are loading our pre-trained ResNet 50 model with the pre-trained weights. When we do this, it essentially loads the whole thing with 1,000 classifications, but we only want 10 of them. So first, we will freeze all layers for our transfer learning purposes. To do so, we'll go through the model parameters, and we'll say param.requires equals false. This way, we won't be calculating any gradients for our parameters. And the important part here is that we'll take the final layer. Sometimes it's called making the model headless, because the head is where we make the predictions. In this case, we'll need only 10 predictions instead of the 1,000 we originally have in the ResNet 50. So we are getting the dimensions from the model.fc in features. So how many inputs are going into the input layer, so that we record in num features, and we create a new linear layer that has the number of features and 10 as the output number. So in the end, there will be 10 classifications. And since we're using the GPU, we are moving our model to the GPU, and we're checking our new classifier head, which has 2048 features going in and only 10 features going out. Next up, we define our loss function, which we use cross-entropy loss, which is quite popular, as well as applying the Adam optimizer with 0.001 learning rate. Next up is defining our training function. When we set model.train, it sets our model to the training mode. And first thing first, we move our images and their labels to the GPU, where our model, since we'll be using them in our GPU. And with the optimizer.0grad, we are clearing out the gradients from the previous steps. And here we put all the images to our model, which is our forward pass from the model. And with loss.backward, we calculate our gradients. And with optimizer.step, we are updating the weights. Chances are, if you're watching this, my guess is that you're already familiar with the typical training loop for the PyTorch, but it's always good to go over it. And if you do have any specific questions, you can ask them in the comments as always as well. And note that here we only define the training function. So let's go ahead and run it. And when we do run it, this part took like 16 minutes to run on the NVIDIA T4 GPU provided by Google Colab, which again, you do have access to it for free as well with the free tier in the Google Colab. And we started with 74.32% accuracy. I went up to 80%, 81.34%, 82%, and 82.73%, and then we stop training since we set the training for 5 epochs. Once done with training, we should also evaluate our model on the test data. First thing we do is to set our model to the evaluation mode from the training mode. And another thing important here is that we say torch.nograd, which means we will need to calculate the gradients. So the evaluation step, as you can imagine, will be much faster since we won't be calculating any gradients. And for example, in this one, evaluation of the 10,000 images took only 37 seconds. And we had a very similar test accuracy as well of 82.67%, which is pretty close to our training data. And lastly, we can see some visualization on what our data looks like. So from the testing data, so this is what our model actually sees. So these are the images our model sees. For example, the prediction of the model for this image was a cat, and it was actually a cat. We predicted ship, and it was a ship. Another ship predicted as true. An airplane predicted true. Frog predicted true. And another frog here is predicted as true as well. And lastly, an optional step, if you do like the performance of your model, you can save and download it as well using torch.save. Hope you got some value out of today's tutorial. Today we started with a pre-trained resonant model. We froze the backbone, which is essentially the every layer other than the last one. So we keep the learned features from like thousands of images, and we replaced the final layer with our 10 classes, which included a cat, ship, frog, airplane, and a few more of them. We only trained on the last layer, so only on the layer that contains 10 outputs. And finally, we tested our model and visualized some results. One thing you might be thinking right now is that our accuracy is only about 82%. And I would say it's not too bad as a starting point, but we can certainly do better than that. And there are a few things we can do to increase our accuracy. And one of them is that we can train for longer. For example, rather than stopping at 5 epochs, we can go for 10 or 15. We can unfreeze more layers. For example, we only trained the last layer, literally the last layer of our neural network. So we could unfreeze a few more layers. That would make the training time take even longer. In this case, it took 16 minutes. Depending on how many layers we unfreeze, it can start to take a few hours. Another thing we could do is to add data augmentation, which is essentially performing some transformations to these images, for example, like bending them, blurring them, and changing their angle to make our model more robust. And lastly, we could slightly increase our learning rate or use a scheduler for our learning rate as well. If you want to see more techniques on how to increase our performance, increase our accuracy on our model as well, let me know in the comments what you want to see next as well. And as always, I hope you got some value out of this tutorial. If you want to see more AI tips and tutorials, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.